ladies with gentle hands. Welcome back to JSR as we continue the incredible season and head across the Atlantic to the most iconic circuit on the calendar. We have arrived here at the Circuit of Americas in Austin, Texas. But last time out, we were in the Middle East in the Duel of the Deserts at Bahrain. And once again, it was Sasha Hood standing on top of the podium. It was a spectacular victory, but it was anything but easy because he had to work for it. Sasha and Ryan Benitez were locked into a fascinating battle in the closing stages of the race, with Ryan applying all the pressure and looking for any chances to get past. Sasha defended the inside line in towards turn 1, forcing Ryan to take a different line and approach, but Ryan simply carried too much speed and outbroke himself into the corner. That mistake was all Sasha needed, and once again he demonstrated exactly why he's been so difficult to beat this season, defending under pressure calmly and keeping the car within the track limits and taking advantage when his rivals falter. Ryan had set for second, and Kick finished in P3 after a great late charge in the last part of the race. But there's 15 drivers here tonight. I don't think we've got Kevin Zuckerberg, we haven't got Kick, Ivan. We are missing a few people, unfortunately, but 15 drivers is still doable, and hopefully can still make up a good race indeed. So the first one on the circuit is the American team of Cadillac, and let's see what Ryan Benitez can do. Is this redemption for Ryan Benitez? He's been searching for that illustrious win since last season, but hopefully let's see if he can try and make his way towards the top step of the podium for the first time this season. Sasha is here, of course, in the Audi, and Stevan is too. Stevan, I think he started on the mini compound tyres, and unfortunately for him, it didn't quite work out because he just lagged behind and lost an abundant amount of time and had to fall backwards during the course of the race. He almost got a podium, but unfortunately Kick took it away from him at the very last grasp on the last lap. So let's see then how it unfolds in this qualifying session. Of course, the usual norm is 18 minutes long, and I think we've got a 29 lap race ahead of us for his store at the US Grand Prix as we round the final corner to open up a flying lap for Ryan Benitez as he opens up the straight mode as we now head on to the main straight for the first time in this session. Uphill climb towards turn 1 now. This is a blind off-camber corner. Hits the apex very nicely, downshift to second gear, get back on the throttle without suffering with too much wheel spin. There was a little bit of wheel spin, but not too much there for Ryan as we now spook through the Maggots and Beckett's S. Look at that nice flow of the steering wheel, no hesitation, downshift to gear into fifth. They're taking a lot of curve on the outside too, and really trying to open up these exits here to get a good slingshot out of the first set. So that is neat and tidy for Ryan Benitez. That was superb and lovely. Even though it was his first go, he still managed to make it work, and hopefully that'll cost him or gave him a bit of time. But a bit of a hesitation out of turn 11 there. You can see the back end of the car just stepping out. It is a hard braking zone, and it is so pivotal to get on the throttle quickly, otherwise you'll find yourself vulnerable down that back straight. Turn 12, they cut to the apex as much as you can, but don't run too out wide. He went a bit wide through turn 12, so it was a great start to the lap for Ryan Benitez, but is it beginning to unfold? Remember, this is his first lap time. He can afford a few mistakes. This is a banker, so he just needs to put a lap time on the board for a reference point and a momentum booster. So it doesn't have to be spectacular or amazing at this stage in qualifying. As long as he can find the time and rectify his mistakes, that's all he needs to do. And same goes for everybody else as well. We've got two new drivers here. We've got the Finnish drivers of Expelli, and we've also got, I think, Pro in the Racing Bull. As Ryan Benitez tops the timing sheets, he was the first driver out there to set a lap time, and of course the first driver to go across the line to make his mark. Unfortunately for Expelli in P2, he's a second or two down as Sasha blitzes the timing sheets again with a 31.698. This man, Sasha, has been on a roll since the very first race of the season. Almost contact into turn 1 there with the Haasman of Milan Langer. Max Marciano, in the Haas, makes his way towards the line with a 34.4. The Aston Martin all squirrely and loose at the background there. You can see that glow stick really struggling for traction and almost lost the car and almost spun, hit the wall too for good measure. There's a bit of a field spread, isn't there? We've got Stevan in P3, Fireblaze P4 with a 32.591, and Hatakas, last season champion, in P5 with a 32.7842, and 1.2 seconds quicker than the Ferrari driver behind him. So a bit of a field spread here around this tricky track. This track, 5.5 kilometers long, 20 corners, and is also split into two halves as well. the enormous uphill climb towards turn 1. Drivers aim dramatically towards the apex before throwing the car into the blind left-hander. And it's one of the biggest braking zones and overtaking chances as well. And plus, it's very easy because it's uphill. You can brake as late as you want and still make the apex. Across the history of F1, we have seen many times drivers there going 3 abreast, 2 abreast, and up the hill. We've seen many drivers there making contact in towards turn 1 because it is so wide and so open. The length of the track is significant indeed, or the width, should I say, going down towards turn 1 is so huge. Hence why we've seen drivers there wheel to wheel in the past. It doesn't always end well. Ask Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Nico Hulkenberg, and I believe somebody else was involved, if I can remember correctly. Or was it just Hulkenberg, Piastri, and Norris? But those three, unfortunately, took each other out in turn 1, and as a result, DNF'd in the sprint race. Now, that's one of the sprint races I can remember, because when it comes to sprint races, I'm absolutely terrible. I don't really remember any sprint races, except that one, of course, because that was the most memorable part of the Grand Prix, and it could have had a massive, it did have a massive effect in the championship, but luckily for Lando Norris, he still won it. Now, Milan Langer, who was just invalidated there in one of the most common places on the track in the first sector, quite lustrous and known for his invalidations, and proving to be a difficult qualifier for him. Do you know what? Milan does have the pace, but it's just about piecing the puzzles together, keeping it nice and clean, as Ralph there goes for an adventure off the track, as he's just tried to get himself back in the pit lane as quick as he can, taking the gravel and grass too, and cutting every single corner on this track. So the first lap times have been done and dusted. It is the man Sasha who's on pole position. Valentino Rossi has joined the session, the doctor. Let's see what the doctor could do. Although Marc Marquez in MotoGP has taken the most wins around here in JSR, not JSR, obviously not, in USA Cota. Hello Glowstick, nice to see you in the chat, of course, following along the F2 driver who has been astonishing in that category and hopefully could continue his good performances and spells too to maintain his championship bidding aspirations too. Milan is still out there, but of course we know he's invalidated. Go for another lap on the same set of the soft compound tyres, quite interesting too. Oh, almost lost. He did lose the car, but unfortunately for him, that lap tire's been ruined before he started. So traction issues and skill issues there for Milan Langer, unfortunately, and looks like he's on the bubble once again in P13 with no lap time on the board. So the doctor has joined the session. He's in the Mercedes, and we'll see what the doc can do. Dr. Doom, of course, Dr. Doom in Avengers Doomsday, of course, my reference point there for those who don't know. The Finishman making his way towards the line, but of course he's just invalidated too, so not a reference point for him on the board. So there's about 6 drivers who have a set lap time on the board, which is quite worrying for them as well, because there's 8 minutes of this qualifying session has gone and flown by, and with those guys there unfortunately not having a lap time on the board, the qualifying will be even more tricky and trickier as the time goes on. Luki in P10 as well is also a newcomer in this session, so welcome to him. But so far so good for this man Sasha in first place with a 31.698, 4 tenths clear ahead of Ryan Benning and Stevan too. So the Audis once again looking very strong indeed, but I wonder if anybody else can join him at the front of the fray of the field. As we'll see, Khatakas and Fireblaze, can they get themselves closer and closer? Fireblaze, who had a massive spin at the start of the race in Bahrain, and looks to try and get his championship, well, not his championship, but his season off to a clean start, because admittedly this man has struggled all the way through the season, has Fireblaze, and we know how quick he could be as well on his good days, but unfortunately just can't seem to piece it together. He did finish P4 silently and quietly too in Madrid. That's his best result of the season. I don't think he's been to the podium just yet this season. He has back in Monza. I don't think I was there for Monza, so he has been to the podium as Fireblaze. But line astern, the 2 Audis orchestrated this slipstream as we now make the way towards turn 1, the uphill climb off camber, turn 1 corner, as you want to get to the foot to the floor as soon as you straighten the wheel up. Now it's all fast, ebbing and flowing through this first sector. You really can't afford hesitations from here, because this is where the lap time is gained through these corners. And Sasha, 2 tenths up in the first sector, demonstrated what he could do around this anti-clockwise circuit. Straight mode at the exit of turn 9, where Sebastian Vettel broke his suspension, unfortunately, back in 2019 before we make the way down towards turn 12. correction, that was turn 11, sorry. This is the main straight headed down towards turn 12. This is where we'll see the main chances to overtake. Stefan is falling backwards though. He was right with him, but he's still there. He's picking up a handy slipstream at the back of his teammates. His middle sector is going to be a 1013.5, as I messed that one up. A 101.3, there we go. I wonder what his teammate did behind him. The dirty air may be affecting the aerodynamics of the car behind, which is Stefan following along his teammate to get a good slipstream of tow. And you can see Sasha is out of battery, headed down towards the triple right-hander. And now the final two corners to negotiate as Sasha dives in the pit lane. Stefan, can he take pole with the handy slipstream? The answer is no. It's a 31.9 and he's 3/10 clear, or 3/10 away from his teammates. Ryan Benig's up in the middle sector by 2/10 of a second as he flicks the car in. This seemingly to be a better lap time there for the Norwegian Dutchman. The Norwegian exits the final corner, a bit of a swapper on, and Ryan goes up into P2, splits both Audis once again. And their joke is up into P4. This man, despite not appearing many times over the course of a season due to his extracurriculum activities outside his personal life, as Fireblaze is just developed to the first sector, so he won't be one happy Dutchman indeed as Hattika starts a flying lap in the Cadillac. Finally, Milan Lager has set a representative lap time in P7, 32.9. So once he puts on a brand new set of soft compound tyres, he should be rapido and hopefully can find more lap time in the Haas. Glowstick as well, obviously struggling here in Dakota, hasn't got a lap time on the board just yet. And we're going to see the Racing Bull driver. What can he do as he cuts the beam? It's only P14. He did improve, but it's not his positioning and stays down there in 14th place. Then as MVD Marciano in the Haas, teammates with Milan Langer. Mummy Nick is usually teammates with Milan, but Mummy Nick unfortunately is not here tonight. And I think he was in the comment section supporting Tim in P12. Tim Boy in 12th place in the Ferrari with a 34.4. Does it me? Or does it look like he's getting cloudier in this session? It was bright and sunny, but the clouds are starting to gather in, same as the UK, because we just had a massive heat wave, but the rain is incoming later on this week. Thank God the rain's here, because it was just too hot in the UK and across Europe, and many wildfires were approaching too. And I think it's the best time now to finally get the sprinklers on and cool down the temperatures too before we head into the autumn. Or should I say the fall? America call it the fall, don't they? As they use different terminology to us. It is the fall after summer in American terms. But let's see what the Doc is doing in 15th place. The Doc is making its way towards the pit lane. Of course, the Doc, most famously known as Valentino Rossi in MotoGP. I do believe the Doc is still racing in the World Endurance Championship. I'm not quite sure what I think he's called. I think he's in the BMWs. Is Valentino Rossi, of course, former most wins in MotoGP, and I think most championships too, without looking at the results. But it's the quiet before the storm here at the US Grand Prix. I'm just waiting for every single driver to make their way back on the circuit. Kota is also notorious as well for track limits, and that could become a major talking point in the race. With so many fast corners and wide runoff areas, drivers can be tempted to just push beyond the white lines in search of those final few hundreds. One small mistake can turn a brilliant lap into a deleted lap or strong race into a penalty. I lost 3/10 in the second to last corner, said side Charles fan. Well, if you're a Charles fan, it must be depressing for you because, you know, I feel sorry for you, mate. Unfortunately, being a Ferrari fan in general is painful. I was a Sebastian Vettel fan all those years ago, and being in the Ferrari was just too painful for me, you know. But yeah, unfortunately for us Ferrari fans have to suffer. But we can see the racing ball. It's me, Lucky, just to let you know. Thank you very much, mate, in 14th place. We're watching your teammate right now making his way towards the top of the hill. He was up by a tenth or two in the first sector as the racing ball charges down into turn 11. As we see there, unfortunately, Expelli has expelled himself from this qualifying session I'm not quite sure how or what he did. Maybe blocking the pit lane exit, and he is out of this qualifier session. So that's bad news for him. He will start down in P16, known as dead last. The racing ball, though, progressing very nicely through the middle sector. He's up by 0.3 of a second. By the way, Norwich Finnish people in the chat, I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. So if I do say it wrong, please forgive me. You know, the English tongue doesn't really pronounce foreign names very, very well. So you've got to forgive me on that one. There's a McLaren at the top of the hill there, turn 1. I think it could be Fireblaze, who is now starting his final lap time. But on board with the racing ball. Let's see what he can do. As he exits the final corner, massive swapper on, and he spins, and it's P9. He did improve by 0.4 of a second, but spun his way towards the line. Don't go backwards, mate. You'll get disqualified. Now, riding on board with Sasha. Sasha blistering through the first sector, up by 0.2 of a second, and still more lap time to be found there. Had a bit of a wobble on out of turn 9, but the Dutchman certainly looks comfortable and unchallenged at the top. Nobody could dethrone him, nobody could take away the limelight, but Ryan Benink and Staver may be. Those guys are still in the pit lane. Sasha has came out relatively early in comparison towards the guys who have just come out, so maybe giving himself a bit of wiggle bite here, just in case he invalidates his first lap time. He's always got a second option, because this track, very easy to overstep the boundaries, and if you do that, you've always got the second lap time to do it. If you have the fuel, the tyres, the battery, if you invalidate in the final sector, that can be painful. Turn 19 and 20, that can be a killer if you do find yourself wayward out there. But Sasha, this triple hander which burns up the left front tyre, the internal graining and temperature will increase through that tyre as the dog has retired in the session. Here comes Sasha. Can he raise the bar once again? Here he comes, and he does. It's a 31.51. Sasha is absolutely flying around here in Kota. We've got more people who are just started or completed their lap times. Hatakas is one of them. Incinerated the battery on this straight. The battery is easy used as it is easy saved. What should I say? Difficult can be saved, because it's very difficult to save battery. You've got to lift the coast at the right part. You know what? I didn't even talk about the battery just yet. And this circuit, I wonder how it punishes the battery and rewards those who are very patient and methodical in terms of using the battery around this circuit. 20 seconds left to go in the session. There's a Haas behind us, Milan. I really hope he can make his way towards the checkered flag. He's got to go right now. He's got to go. Poor Jens. Jens has just invalidated through turn 20. That is excruciatingly painful for him. And Milan has just cut the beam with 3 seconds left to go on the clock. Who are we looking for? So Stevan, Ryan Benink out there to try and leapfrog ahead of Sasha. There's a Red Bull behind us. That could be very joke. Getting a very handy toe off the back. We saw this back in Saudi Arabia when Venjoke was using the slipstream at the back of somebody. Is that rain? I thought for 1 second my eyes deceived me. I thought that was rain on the horizon there. Look at the heat haze at the back of the cars. So Venjoke is following. He best hope he don't overtake Ryan Benink, because that could be the end of their qualifying session. So this trio will be very important to watch now. You know what, in qualifying you don't really see these type of things, do you? It's very, very interesting and tricky how these guys could just use each other and follow each other. In real life, you don't really see this, do you? With these drivers follow each other in the slipstream of each other. But Ryan Benink's down by 0.2 of a second, so he's lost the time. And will he get out of the way as Venjo makes a big mistake out of turn 16 there? That is going to be punishing for him, and he will lose more time too. So I think Sasha could be safe from the threat of Stevan, Ryan Benink. Fireblaze goes P5. Milan Langer will be the last one to cross the line, as we see this trio making their way down towards the final couple of corners on this racetrack. Can any of this trio get themselves in a better position? We're about to find out right now. Venjo goes P4. He has displaced Fireblaze. Warden to him. Milan, what can he do? Squirms on the final corner. Can he improve? The answer is yes. Milan goes P6 ahead of Ralph. Warden to Milan. A much better qualifying, and I dare say his race pace is also much better than his qualifying positions and results too. Once again, Sasha takes another pole position ahead of Ryan Benning. Stevan P3, Audi are looking super strong right now in this championship. Vedjoke and Fireblaze P4, P5. Milan Langer P6 ahead of Khatikas. Ralph 8 ahead of Glowstick. Len in P10 ahead of Seam, Timboy, Luki, Moschino, The Doc, and Expelli, who had got disqualified from this qualifier. So I'm not quite sure if it was purposeful or not. But nonetheless, although unfortunately for him, he has been disqualified and will have to start at the back of the field for a painful, enduring race. I wonder how the tyre wear is going to be, the battery as well, and the heating issues that we could suffer through this race. You've got to mitigate it, manage it, and we'll see which drivers will make the best use of it too. But the run towards Turn 1 is always interesting. Many occasions. Nico Rosberg versus Lewis Hamilton towards Turn 1 in 2015, when Hamilton pushed Rosberg off the track as well. We saw Verstappen and Norris go side by side through Turn 1 in 2024, and I believe Verstappen has beaten Leclerc off the line plenty of times too. Raikkonen got past Hamilton towards Turn 1, didn't he? And I think he started the ultra soft tyres. Raikkonen went on to win the Grand Prix ahead of Hamilton. Vettel dropped backwards due to contact with Ricciardo. And yeah, that really was the story of his races, spinning all the time, unfortunately, as a Seb fan. But turn one will be... I almost bit my tongue for some reason. Don't want to be doing that before the start of the race. Talking with no tongue. Let's see if the US Grand Prix delivers 4, 5 lights. And the trigger is pulled. We are underway for the US Grand Prix here in Kota. As we make the way down up towards Turn 1, we go. Ryan Bennings on the attack. Down the inside he goes. Outbrake himself. He goes off the track, and Sasha immediately fights back underneath him as he goes up into P1 once again. Ryan Bennings outbroke himself, and unfortunately for him, the same situation as the Bahrain Grand Prix Turn 1 last week. Just opportunity on the brakes there and fell backwards. And took my falling backwards. We got a racing ball, unfortunately, in the pack there, falling backwards too in P13. So it is Sasha, Ryan Benning, Stevan, first, second, third place. And already in this race, Luki has picked up a 3-second penalty as well, unfortunately, at this stage. That's going to be a long, painful race. Down the inside goes Glowstick. He's defending from Sieb, and Sieb's in a spin, half spin, as there's contact at the back of the field there with all the guys jockeying for position. Glowstick there, power race all the way down towards Turn 12. Who is going to be laying the brakes there between those two? The Scotsman versus the Dutchman. Heading down towards Turn 12. Khatikas with a massive pressure goes wide, and Glowstick says, "Thank you very much. I am taking a place away." And he puts himself now inside the top 10. This Glowstick, so a great start. Khatikas struggling on the hard compound tyres there. Milan, already in this race, picks up a penalty. Oh, what a shame for Milan. We know he's a lot stronger in race trim than qualified trim, and a penalty in this race is going to be detrimental towards the end and have an everlasting effect too. Lap 1 has been concluded. It is Sasha who will lead ahead of Ryan Benning then. So despite the mistake in Turn 1, Ryan Benning is able to keep up with Sasha in first place. Stevan holding his own in P3 ahead of Vedjoke, who's stayed where he started in 4th place. The top 4 static so far. No changes, no movements. We saw Ryan Benning have a stiff on the inside there, but unfortunately for him, learned the brakes. But it's not over yet. There's a long way to go. As long as Ryan Benning has the pace to try and contend with Sasha, it's all good. Use the battery off him, save battery too, and focus on managing those tyres, brakes, temperature and battery too. That's all you need to do as well. Easier said than done, of course. The temperatures will be skyrocketing high around this circuit. And who's that? That is Fireblaze on the attack on Milan. Milan dropping backwards, and Fireblaze takes full advantage on the inside and goes up into P5. Those guys have now been disconnected from this train, and Milan is under all sorts of pressure as Ralph behind is ready to try and pounce an attack on the Haas driver. Here comes Ralph on the attack down towards Turn 12, but Milan is a bit late to the brakes as Ralph is just switching lines there, trying to catch the Haas off guard, but not able to do so on that occasion. Has to stay behind him. Milan at this stage struggling for grip, and he has Ralph to contend with all of the back of him. Vedjoke now has dropped outside the 1 second range of battery mode as well, boost mode, so he seems to be struggling to keep up with the top 3. Look at the battery too from these three. Venjoke is down to 30%, while these guys comfortable with about 60, 70, 80% too. Of course, it's going down bit by bit as the drivers there are fixated on each other. But the top three, Sasha, Stevan and Ryberink, hopefully this will be a good race all the way to the end. At this stage, it'll be about management, keeping those tyres intact alive as well, and trying to go for a long stint on those mini compound tyres too, because the one stop is better than the two stop. In the past, it has been beneficial to be the two-stop strategy. I remember people put on lap 18 a few games ago, but I think the one-stop is faster because the two-stop, you just don't make up the deficit towards the end, do you? As Marchino, and we can see the Ferrari there as well in a scrap for P10. The Doc has picked up a penalty. He goes off the track in the background there. As we see Fireblades and Venjoke, there we go. The exchange has happened between those two. They've got their own private battle here. Fireblades is surging through. He's got past Milan. He's got past Venjoke. But the chances of catching the top three is unlikely. Do you know it's the same as the DRS train? Once you break the DRS train, it is just so difficult to catch up because you've got to push hard as you can. As we see this contact slightly going down towards turn number, I think, 16. As we see Len and Max there just going side by side through this triple right-hander. And you see the McLaren driver and the racing board now fighting in the final two corners. And that gets very, very tough between those two indeed. As I think Ferrari now taking advantage of both of them. Down the inside he goes and he pushes off the track. Goes McLaren Seam, and Seam has crashed in the Ferrari and lost his whole wing. Is that a safety car? A safety car has been deployed in this race for the first time this season. Not this season, but the first time in this race. A safety car has been deployed. There he is at the top. Oh, that was super close to contact there between the Mercedes and the Mercedes. The Doc just narrowly avoiding the safety car. Sam, by the way, you can get past the safety car because you're not the leader. There you go. Go past it. There we go. So yeah, do you know what? This benefits Seam because he can pit for a brand new front wing and not lose any time because the safety car is out. So that safety car's helped him in a way. Milan, for some reason, is swapping with Ralph. What's happened there? So Ralph is weaving left and right there, and Milan somehow got past him. Not quite sure how, but he has. And that was under a safety car. So hopefully, my internet is going. Hopefully that my stream hasn't stopped. My internet has been weird again for some reason. Yep, I'm still streaming, thankfully. Wow, so lap 4, safety car. Is anybody thinking about pit stop? Is it too early to try and pit? Will it be a 2-stop if these guys decide to switch over to a brand new set of hard compound tyres? Is it worth pitting? Maybe for the guys behind us, yes, because of course those guys behind us have got nothing to lose. They can try and go for a tyre deficit. I think I was in a situation a couple of games ago when I was in the lower pack on the mini compound tyres. I pitted to a new hard, and that benefited me because the safety car came out around this time. Rybernik is pitted, and so is Sasha. It was a bit of a dummy, like Raikkonen back in 2018 when he tried to dummy Lewis Hamilton. But Rybernik, almost got past Sasha. Was that worth it? I don't think it was. But yes, look at this, forced into different lanes. So, who is going to be the villain that stays out? Venjoke is the person, the outlier who is staying out there on the mini compound tyres. Will it be a 2-stop strategy? Khatikas is a no-brainer for him to stay out. There's no point for Khatikas to pit onto a new set of mini compound tyres because that is going to trigger a definite 2-stop. And I think it's best for him to stay out there and see what he could do. Maybe hang out to dry from the guys behind. So, Stevan has lost the place towards Timboy. Timboy is up to P6 ahead of Stevan because Stevan had to wait in the pit lane. As Milan Langer has got a penalty with Fireblades. How on earth has that happened? Milan Langer is picking up penalties in this race left, right and centre. Not going well for him at all. And how has Timboy got himself a penalty in this race? Under a safety car. Unbelievable indeed. These small things have a big ramifications towards the end of a race, you know. It's just, yeah, it's unnecessary and unneeded, but I'm not quite sure how these guys do it. Bearing in mind though, I can't say much because, of course, I've spawned on a safety car, I've crashed on a safety car, and I've also put some penalties too for good measure, so yeah. It is easy done, of course, lapse of concentration maybe, you don't fully concentrate, do you, under a safety car? You kind of switch off, and that's what probably some drivers are doing under a safety car. Just switch it off a bit, and then see the track limits. Races can be won or lost under a safety car, as we know, and a few people in this race under a safety car have picked up penalties, and that's going to have a massive effect towards the end of their race too, especially Milan, down in P9. A great qualifying, but an underwhelming race for his standards. Hopefully Milan will be much better tomorrow with me, as we try and go for a second attempt of winning the race, me and Milan. Whilst the safety car has been deployed, I'm going to take a short break, and I'll be back with you very, very shortly. The safety car is coming in towards the end of the lap. Race production gets underway right now. Here we go. Then Vojoke is the leader on all tyres. Rafa P2 with Khatakas in third place. And Sasha will be looking to try to tag Khatakas immediately off the line. Here we go down towards turn one. Is this a lunge from the Audi? No. Khatakas may go deep in the corner, which gives an opening for Sasha. He's side by side. There's contact between those two there as we now make our way through turn two. Sasha has to pull this off immediately, maybe helping his team with Ryan. We're going side by side, wheel to wheel, barely separated by anything. And you can see Khatakas hold up for dear life, but Sasha eventually gets past him and moves up into P3. Now, do you expect Ryan to immediately overtake his teammate, or is Khatakas going to still put the pressure on Sasha and back him into back him into Esteban? As we now make our way down in towards the turn 11 complex we go. Sasha has outbroke himself and off the track he goes. Khatakas now is wheel to wheel with the Audi driver. This is going to be a battery race all the way towards turn 12, and looks like Sasha is losing out, or both of them are losing battery on the straight, and down the inside goes the Audi to switch lines there, converts the inside line and make the move past Khatakas. That was a lovely move there, much more braver, much more confident the brakes there, and Khatakas goes up the inside, gets a 3-second time penalty indeed. This is incredible racing between these two, but a bit too much there as Sasha surely gets past him. Now he does, and you think that both Cadillacs are swapped around. Yes, both Cadillacs are swapped around, and that was the plan for Khatakas to try and prevent Sasha from overtaking him so Ryan Benink could go through. It has worked to extent because Ryan Benink is right behind now and can focus on challenging the Audi driver. Battery is enabled, the boost mode is enabled, so will Ryan Benink think about overtaking him right now towards turn 1, or will he just stay behind and wait? Is it in towards turn 1? Let's have a look. It is on the attack. It's a late lunge from Ryan Benink. Does he make a stick this time? No. Under and over, switcheroo, and Sasha goes back into third place. He's been mirror signaling that move from lap 1. He's able to get a switchback and a much better exit. These two go side by side. Vojoke and Ralph there. This is a battle for the lead for the drivers on all tyres. These people did not pit onto a new set of hard compound tyres, so they go for the regular strategy. Will that work towards the end? How detrimental will the tyres be towards the end? How much wear? Is it going to be a one-stop? Is it a two-stop? Will the guys in first, second place do their normal strategies, as we see the Cadillac and the Audi there? Two teammates swap places. Not teammates, of course, but the second drivers in the pack. And you can see Milan Langer off in the background there too. So what's going to happen down towards turn 12? Is Sasha going to be overtaken by Ryan Benink? Ryan's getting closer and closer, but does not go for a lunge on the inside this time. He stays behind him, but meanwhile, this battle is brewing between the other Cadillac and the other other Audi and the other Cadillac of Khatakas and the Esteban too. I am so sorry for mumbling my words here because I'm so confused sometimes between who is who. I've known these guys for a while and I still get mixed up on who's who, so my apologies there. And plus the cards as well, because the Cadillac looks like a Haas sometimes, so yeah, I do apologise for those mistakes, but hopefully I learn in the future. A lot of people in this race just inherited a 3-second time penalty. Here comes Ralph on the attack on Venjo, but they have got Sasha behind in P3, so will they think about a pit stop very soon, because the compound tyres are starting to degrade even more. There's the evidence on those tyres just suffering with blisters and constantly wearing out and degraded too. Sasha and Ryan Benink will have to follow through very, very swiftly and not get held up. This is the problem sometimes you occur in a Grand Prix. Getting stuck behind people on older tyres can be a nightmare sometimes, especially in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Sasha with the best. Oh, Sasha almost lost it! And where's Ryan? Ryan goes up into P3, now P2, side by side with the Williams. He's up into second place now. Ryan Benink has track position. Can he get past Venjoke? Here we go then, on towards the back straight we go. Surely Ryan Benink with the battery, boost and better tyres will think about a move on Venjoke. Here he comes. He's forced to the outside towards turn 12. How aggressive can he be around the outside? He goes super deep and not able to make the move. Venjoke stays in first place. Now switching to the outside of turn 13. Can he pull this off? Can he get ahead? We go wheel to wheel, barely separated between the two. Ryan Benink now moves up into first place ahead of Venjoke. Ryan Benink is in the lead of the Grand Prix, and Sasha is stuck in P3, trying to get past Venjoke, and finally gets past him as well. Wow, what a chain of events there. what happened all unfolded, sorry, at turn number 9 when we saw Sasha lose the back end of the car and Ryan Benink simply walk past him for 3rd place at the time. A small mistake could have been costly, but luckily he's still in P2 and still could chase Ryan Benink. So this battle between these two will be absolutely incredible to watch towards the end of the Grand Prix. It's like it was back in Bahrain. They're both on the same tyres, of course, same compound and same strategy, but who can make those tyres last towards the end and have the better tyre wear as well. Sasha almost lost it. That could have ended his race prematurely and ruined his streak of races he's won so far this season, as Esteban is piling the pressure on Venjoke and Ralph. They are both struggling in the compound tyres. Surely they should pit now, because if they do not pit now, they will lose so much time. Oh! Contact is made between these two. This is his mentor, Esteban's mentor, Venjoke, the 7-time champion there. Getting advice, well, other way around, sorry. Esteban getting advice from the 7-time champion. The 7-time champion is not ready to back off there. There's contact and more barging. And Venjoke stays ahead, surprisingly. But I think Esteban's had enough of the Red Bull driver. You know what, he's not backing off, is he? Not giving his friend a good time at all, is he? Making it even harder and harder to get past him. But Venjoke is no slouch. He's no do-over. He doesn't yield very quickly, does he? He likes to battle it out as much as he can. He loves to spoil people's races. He's the main antagonist in this league, isn't he? Hence why he's won 7 championships. But he's, one of those people that doesn't back off, does he? Will he pit this lap? Yes, he does then. Wise thing to do. And what about Ralph behind him? Will he think about pit stop too? No, Ralph stays out there. So following Fireblaze and Esteban, could this be a chance for Fireblaze to pick up a podium in this race here in USA? Whilst the top 2 are left alone to set it out, I think these two will just try and save tyres now. They've got the gap over 2.7 seconds, so I think these two would not fight each other, call it off for the time being, manage the tyres and see what they can do towards the end. Meanwhile, Lukey in the Racing Bull has struggled all the way through this event. Venjoke has rejoined in P11. So a brand new set of hard compound tyres. Those tyres could go towards the end, and let's see what he could do with them. He should be rapid towards the end of the Grand Prix. Will those guys who were pitted at the very early part of the Grand Prix think about a 2-stop, or will they go towards the end? How bad is the tyre wear around here in USA? If it was someone like me, I would have gone for a 2-stop strategy, because I could not make the tyres last to save my life. So I definitely know I would have done a 2-stop. But these guys are much more better in terms of racing. They're much more consistent as well. Not too aggressive with the steering inputs. A Hattikas there on the inside of Ralph. Just get past him. But will Ralph have a better traction out of turn 12? He's still there along the outside. We'll see if Ralph can get a better exit. This is not good for Hattikas. He has the inside line going towards turn 15, and Ralph stays ahead, surprisingly too. But Hattikas immediately on the fight back here, through the triple right, there we go. And Hattikas moves up into P5 ahead of Ralph. The Super Speed tried to defend, but his tyres are giving way and constantly degraded too. Now he enters the pit lane. Just like back at the Bahrain Grand Prix, the top 2 left alone, and 3rd and 4th place are fighting for a podium as well. So a few separate battles here in this race. The narrative is pretty much shifted towards Sasha and Ryan Benink. I think those two are just managing the pace out in front, not doing anything too aggressive at this stage in the Grand Prix. Trying to look after the tyres and eat them out towards the end of the race too, because tyre management will be very crucial in this Grand Prix. Ralph rejoins the P10. Look at the undercut. No! Venjoke stays ahead. Oh, Hattikas has spun the car. And Milan too. Have those two come to blows somewhere? I wonder. Milan and Fireblaze at Hattikas. Wow, Milan Lager has been in the wars today, hasn't he? Left, right, and centre. Since lap 1 of the Grand Prix, he has a quarter break, and his teammate goes past 2 for good measure. Oh, Milan Lager really suffering here in USA. Sasha and Ryan Benink once again toe-to-toe in the braking zone at turn 12. As we now make the way towards turn 13, there's nothing separating those two. Sasha on the outside again, and this time Sasha off the inside line. This is a great tussle for first place, and Sasha takes the lead. But can Ryan Benink have a better exit? He can't. He stays in P2. I love that final sector because when people go side by side there's so many alternating lines you could take through there, and many people as well could dive from the inside towards turn 15 and claim the apex. That's why it's so good, this track, to battle it out in recent times too. Many occasions we've seen in the past where this track has delivered some good races and promising too. Oh no, don't do that, Ryan Benink. You can't afford to make mistakes like that. Kevin Zunderberg did the same thing. And what's going on in the mid-pack? There's so much action there too. I know Ryan Benink is running no assist, so just missed breaking the horse. So, yeah, make sure he doesn't do that again. Otherwise, it could be even more severe with a lack of downforce on the front end of the car with no wing. Yeah, just keep it nice and clean. He's got a Sasha in his sights right where he wants him as well. Both of them have got each other in the sights, and the guys behind are not catching up. So those two can play it out however they want. Should they settle this battle down and fight towards the end? It'll be a great battle for us as streamers and commentators and the viewers back at home. But in terms of their race, are they going aggressive or passive? The answer is no. Ryan Benink on the attack, but goes deep in the corner. That's been his Achilles heel so far. He always goes deep in the breaker zone. He somehow needs to rectify his mistakes, because if that's the last lap, then it'll cost him dearly. So he needs to be a bit more better on the brakes. I dare say, does Ryan Benink every single time he goes for a move on the inside, he just goes too deep in the corner, which allows Sasha or anybody else to come back through. So Milan Langer has apologised to Hartikas. I think Milan was the causer of that event, and Hartikas unfortunately paid the consequences for that too. What a shame for Jens. Of course, the only driver in the field started the hardcore power tyres. Still hasn't pitted just yet in this race, has Jens. I played Among Us with Ryan Benink and Sasha, and those two there. Very, very clever and tactical in terms of imposter and crewmate. Oh, Ryan Benink has picked up a penalty in this race. That's the end, I dare say, unless Sasha picks up a penalty. It is so easily done around here in USA. That first sector, catching people out, and Ryan Benink has become a victim of that, unfortunately for him. That's why it's so key to be consistent. And guess what? Behind us, Stave and the Fireblaze are catching up. Could they be involved in this battle, I wonder? Could it be an Audi 1-2? Could Fireblaze end up on the podium here too? But Fireblaze has to put the work in if he wants a podium around here in Dakota. I think Ryan has nothing to lose, obviously. So why not... I thought for one second about breaking himself. That was super late on the brakes there. Late lunge, but made it stick. I think Ryan Benink is just going to have fun with Sasha. You know, try and not force him off the track, but try and make him corner cut. If he can. Force him into an unforced error. Oh, there's contact there between those two as Ryan goes off the track. This is getting very intense indeed between these two. Ryan Benink and Sasha going at it, hammer and tong in this race as Milan eventually retires from this race. I think he's ended his misery here in Kota. But what a battle we're watching so far between these two extremely talented drivers, between these two high caliber, very quick indeed. Ryan Benink, although he needs to work on a bit of consistency, but yeah, these two just put on a show. What's Ryan going to do? He obviously wants a podium, but he's in a bit of a predicament because let's say Sasha backs Ryan into Stevan and Fireblaze will end up on the podium and Ryan Benink won't. So it's a peculiar situation is Ryan Benink, you know. He's stuck behind Sasha, wants to get past him, and he can't because it's so difficult to pull away from somebody when you get past them because the battery easily drained. If you use your battery in one go, you end up vulnerable for the next straight. And here we go then in an obscure, uncommon place. You don't really see many fires. You do see some fires down there, but ideally you wait for the straights to get a good run and overtake down towards turn 12. But Ryan Benink has moved up into first place, but not for longer, as Sasha immediately on the comeback towards turn 12. And Ryan Benink laying the brakes there. All this battling is giving all the impetus the guys behind need, and down the inside goes Sasha, but makes contact with Ryan Benink. Do you know what? I wish these guys kept scrapping because Stave and Fireblaze will catch up. The longer this continues, the better for Stave and for Fireblaze, and I'm going to see a massive ding-dong battle between the top four, and I cannot wait. Fireblaze could win this race. Fireblaze hasn't won a race around here at JSR for such a long time. It'd be nice to see that Dutchman return to the top step of the podium. Dutch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, first place lives in Norway but is a Dutchman himself. And then it's the Scotsman. Glowstick is doing a really good job so far. How many penalties has he got in this race? Only one? Yeah, just one. He's got the gap to MVD, who is his rival in F2. The gap is 4 seconds between Hartikas and himself. Ralph Pierre, the bonus set hardcore power tyres. The Vote Joke has pitted to a softcore power tyre, so his stint on the hardcore power tyres did not last long. And I wonder if he made mistakes. We did see some yellow flags in that area where Vote Joke was. So I wonder if the Dutchman made some mistakes and had to pit for a new wing. It's a shame because Vote Joke looked like he could have had some good result, but unfortunately for him, mistakes along the way. Right, so it looks like it's settled down a bit now between Sasha and Ryan Benink. Looks like Ryan Benink is starting to stretch his legs a bit, but he has used a lot of battery, so he might be vulnerable towards Sasha. But Sasha, on the other hand, too, is also low on that battery. But Stevan is teetering on the edge of getting closer towards Sasha. He's almost there, and look at the gap. The gap is 9 tenths. Is Sasha slowing down? There's no way this is his pace. Is he allowing Ryan Benink to pull away? The gap is 1 second, 9 tenths. He's saved a lot of battery in that particular part of the track, has Sasha. But he's almost outside the 1 second range of the battery mode as well. I need to stop saying that, 1 second range. Who's that in front of us? Who was that? Is that Ved Joke? It is Ved Joke. So Ved Joke has been lapped, unfortunately, in this race. And Stevan has now dropped backwards. The gap is 1.8 seconds. Fireblaze has got Stevan right in his clutches for 3rd place. I'm not quite sure what happened to Stevan, Sasha in P2, because he is dropping backwards for some unknown reason. Ryan Benink all of a sudden has found some pace. Has Sasha got any damage, I wonder, on the Audi? Of course, I'm assuming things here. I'm not quite sure what has happened to Sasha's pace. Is he not bothered about Ryan Benink? Is he just saving his tyres towards the end of this stint? Intriguing, you know, very intriguing. He's allowing Ryan Benink to pull away out of his boost mode. He goes deep in the corner, and Vote Joke is right there. The gap is 1.3. He's losing time more and more and more. I wonder if he does have a genuine problem, like a small damage on the car. But yeah, only Sasha knows what he's doing. Gap's now 7 or 8 tenths of a second there. This is distracting, you know. Even though Vote Joke is lapped and goes to car, this is very distracting. Hopefully Vote Joke does not intervene in this battle. When you're a battle marker, you just try and keep out the way. If you want to sit and watch the battle, then by all means do, but don't go through people, because that unfortunately hinders your eye line through the corners, your preferential vision through corners. You may go wide at the apex, you may see each limits, and me myself, I have done such a thing when it goes to car has been inside me. Well, let's pause there. But when it goes to car has been through me, and I made mistakes. Through tier 1, and just like that, Sasha is under a second. I thought he had a problem there, but it turns out Sasha was just hanging backwards, and now on the pile once again. I really wish these two just scrubbed out, because Stevan and Fireblaze. I'm surprised, you know, that Sasha is not allowing Stevan to get closer to him. Maybe they're not working together. Of course they're working together, but I thought that Sasha would even go slower and slower to allow Stevan to be free from Fireblaze a little bit in terms of overtake mode. Allow Stevan to have overtake off Sasha. And Stevan has spun! Oh, Stevan has spun the car. Well, it was a half spin, not a full spin. And he's rejoined in P4. What a shame for Stevan indeed. Look at the gap, 3.2. I think Fireblaze had to slam the anchors to avoid Stevan, and that's why they've lost so much time towards the guys in 1st and 2nd place. And off the track goes the Red Bull. That is Vote Joke, of course, not really involved in this battle. So Stevan's tyres, they start to come towards the end of their stint. It's still the hardcore powered tyres. There's a long way to go on those hardcore powered tyres. Maybe Ralph is too far away. There's no way Ralph can catch those guys. Even he's a pit stop behind too. So even if these guys pitted, they still rejoin ahead of Ralph. So Glowstick has pitted again. I did miss that. Sorry. And who else in the background there? That is the Finnish driver who's making mistakes of Expelli. So it is not really the climax we're hoping for towards the end of this race. I was hoping for a build up But we know Ryan Benink has got a penalty. And Sasha just on the back of him, just ready to pounce later on in the Grand Prix. He knows that there's no need to take any risks, because if he does pick up a penalty, those two will be on an even level playing field. And that means the fight for the lead will still resume. Ryan Benink is just hoping that Sasha picks a penalty, and Ryan Benink could finish in second place, because the gap between himself and Fireblaze is about 4.5 seconds there. So I think Ryan Benink is secure on the podium unless something dramatic happens. Well done. I don't want to jinx it. I'm not going to jinx it. I know Fireblaze has had a difficult season. One podium, of course, but other races he's just fell backwards and hasn't had the pace to contend with the guys in front. Sometimes he can played with bad luck, can Fireblaze. But really, let's hope this time he has a good result. That's all I'm going to say. Eight laps left to go of this race. Not much happening right now between the top two. Fireblaze in P3 just trying to hang on to that third place because he's still on the threat from Stevan. Stevan is not leaving him alone despite the hiccup in towards turn 9. Turn 9 is the most common place because obviously you can be very careful in terms of battery boost, because if you boost out of turn 9, it's an uphill off-camber corner, turn 9, blind crest as they say, with straight wheel activated. So if you make a mistake through there, you're guaranteed to spin and light the rear tyres up. So you've got to be very careful in terms of pinning the throttle. I've always found turn 9 to be tricky, even in the last games too, despite the downforce added to the cars. The turn 9 can be a very difficult corner, especially in dirty air. There's not many. Do you know what? Ralph has caught up to Moschino. Moschino has done a very good job so far in this race, but he's about to be under pressure from the guys behind on a brand new set of the hard and the medium compound tyres. Here we go, here's one of them. How aggressive is Ralph going to be against MVD? Stevan is just hovering and teetering on the edge of 1 second there. And meanwhile we've got Ralph on double the age of tyres against Moschino. Of course, Moschino is in the party with glow stick, and I think Fireblaze too. I think Milan Langer has left that party by now. Of course, he can be very frustrated in terms of what happened to his race. That party's still open, and I can't see Milan Langer in that party anymore, so he's definitely left that party. Oh no, he's still in there. Yeah, he's still in the party, is Milan Langer. Here comes the Williams on the inside then, on turn 12, and that's a very neat move indeed. Blocks past him and goes up into P5. Beautiful move, didn't allow MVD to come back at any given chance, and now he's under massive pressure from Glowstick. Now these two are in a party, so I really hope they don't come to blows, as Glowstick puts his nose in there, almost a place where he shouldn't be, but luckily the door was opened slightly for Glowstick to go through and take P6 away. MVD is dropping like a stone on those hardcore power tyres. Those hardcore power tyres must be near towards the end of their performance now, surely. How old are those hardcore power tyres? Of course, the 70 lap balls, but you know what I mean in terms of tyre wear. People on the pad will be struggling significantly as we see Hattekas on the inside of MVD as he gets pushed backwards once again in 8th place. Looks like MVD will be the one to pick up points in this race. His teammate unsuccessful, of course, after a few problems in this race. It's been a race of attrition and events here for Milan Langer. The gap is 6 seconds then between those two. Fireblaze and Sasha's. Oh, Sasha almost lost the car. I wonder if he's struggling on grip as well, as Glowstick and Ralph there squabbling away. That's a very audacious lunge with the inside towards turn 11 there from Glowstick. I don't think he mirrored that one correctly, but he's on the back of the Williams driver once again. This is about for P5 between those two. And a safety car has been deployed. What happened there? Who was the cause of the safety car? Somebody's lost their wing. Ah, it's the Racing Bull. The Racing Bull has careered into the wall and has caused the safety car. So another safety car has been thrown into the mix. Now this could get very spicy towards the end. Whoa! Oh my goodness me, the safety car has came at the worst possible time. Fireblaze is staying in the pit lane. Ryan Benink and Sasha have passed the pit lane. This could change everything in the race. Fireblaze and Esteban. Wow, I think they're in the best spot to win the Grand Prix because these two are stuck behind the safety car. They can't pit, or they can, but they will rejoin behind Fireblaze and Esteban. Oh, what rotten luck for Ryan Benink and Esteban and Sasha in P2. It couldn't have come out at the worst possible time. Fireblaze and Esteban will be rubbing their hands together. Fireblaze could win this this USA Grand Prix. This could be his first win for a long, long time, without checking the stats, of course. Fireblaze, of course, a former champion of JSR, multiple race winner, and a popular character amongst the paddock. And don't discount Esteban too. I'm not discounting him out. His last win was at the Madrid Grand Prix for Audi. He finished first ahead of Armin. But Fireblaze, you know, a really nice person in the paddock, very, very cool-headed person. A likeable person as well. I don't need to gloat and glaze over him, but I will. His last win was at the triple race in Canada, United States, and Mexico too. That was the triple race in the US Grand Prix, the North America. I mean, it was a triple header there too. That was his last win last season, in season 11. Oof, how painful is that for Sasha and Ryan Benink? I don't think those tyres are new, you know. I think they're a little bit old, but at least they have some fresh tyres attached to the car. I would have gone for the mini compound tyres, you know, because those tyres, I don't know what tyres they have in the disposal to use. The top two are not pitting. Yes, they are. They are pitting. They may have lost track position, but at least those two will be on the same tyre set as Fireblaze and Esteban. So they've got a fighting chance now. And the freshness of those stock compound tyres too. 1 lap pressure, which will make up all the difference indeed. Not too bad, you know. They have lost track position, but not too much positions. And who's that coming through? Is that Hatikas? Hatikas has jumped the Cadillac and the Audi as we make our way now towards Tier 1. So they've got a car in the way. Oh my goodness me, this is going to be a sprint race towards the end. This race has lightened up now, and we'll see who will be the winner of this US Grand Prix. It looked like Sasha, but a cat has been thrown amongst the pigeons here in this race, and Fireblaze is leading. Can you believe it? I still got a feeling that Sasha might win this Grand Prix. I don't know why. But how much of an impact will Hatikas be? I think Hatikas will let Ryan Benink go. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? No-brainer. And defend from Sasha. So I think that's teamwork at play between both Cadillac drivers. Well, they've both got nothing to lose because they've both got penalties. So yeah, I think that Hatikas will just be a guinea pig and hold Sasha up to allow Ryan Benink to have a podium. That's a lot of holding up to do in 1 lap. So if Sasha wants a 7th win of the season, or 8th win of the season, 7th win of the season, sorry, he has to get past 4 drivers, and that's going to be a tough challenge towards the end of this race. Fireblaze searching for his first win since last season, Esteban looking for a 2nd win of the season, and Sasha looking to increase his championship aspirations and add another win to his tally of 7 wins this season. This could be incredible towards the end. All these drivers have a point to prove in this race. Ralph at P6, do you know what? Ralph could get P4 at the end of this race, and what a phenomenal result for the Super Speed in 6th place. What about Marciano? Do you know what? Like I said, having minimal penalties towards the end could make a huge difference and a huge impact, because you could find yourself catapulting up the order dramatically. I think Ryan Benink and Hatikas could be in a bit of trouble. So lap 25, so there's going to be about 2 laps of racing towards the end of this race. Fireblaze wishing that the safety car continues all the way to lap 27, of course, but we will have some more laps of racing. There's 4 cars, the 2 Ferraris and the 2 Racing Bulls yet to catch up. So those 4 need to catch up in this race. But Fireblaze didn't think of, you know, oh, what's happened there? Come on, guys, don't start messing around now. We're in for a good race. Don't pick up penalties, don't crash each other or overtake each other unnecessarily. Here we go then. Just 3 more laps left to go after this one. The 2 Ferraris, the 2 Racing Bulls have to catch up. Well, they don't have to, of course, but ideally they want to. it was all down to one of these two who caused a safety car. I'm not quite sure which one it was, but one of those two caused. And why is Len still running without a wing? He's got no wing at all. So it looks like he's going wingless towards the end of this race. Yeah, he was the one that caused the safety car. Thank you, Len. Of course, the safety car. It's going to be a good finish, but obviously, some people will not be happy about the safety car at all. It could have been worse for Ryan Bennick and Sasha. You know, the field spread. I think the grid could have been more compacted, and that meant more positions could have been lost if they pitted. So it's not too bad, but it is bad for Sasha in P5 because he's got Hartikas in P3. Who could be the blockage in this race. The obstacle in Sasha's way is Hartikas, but racing is about to pursue once again. Who will win this highly anticipated US Grand Prix? Will it be Fireblaze? Will it be Stevan? Can't be Hartikas, it can't be Ryan Benink, because those two have picked up a penalty, and Sasha in P5 will be poised and desperate. He has been controlling this race from start to finish, but now has a lot of work to do if he wants to try and win this race. Don't go anywhere, you are in for a treat in this race. So Fireblaze will decide he becomes the effective safety car leader now. I can decide when to go. When will he pull the trigger? Can he catch Stevan off guard? Will Stevan need cat-like reactions? And he goes in the final corner. The US Grand Prix continues, and there's 3 more laps left to go in this race. Everybody in the soft compound tyres. And off in the background goes a few cars. We make our way down towards Tier 1. This is an orchestrated slot between these two. Ryan Benink now goes up into P3. And this will be painful for Sasha, because Sasha has to get past. There's contact! And Sasha then had to back off there. Almost said it had to cast the spin. The door was always going to be a wedge and close. Look at the grip, but Sasha once again making contact with Hartikas. And Hartikas goes wide. He's not letting Sasha go. Oh, Sasha almost in a spin. Hartikas. Oh, what's the Freud doing? What was that? I'm quite sure what the Freud was thinking there. But back towards the top 3. Fireblaze versus Stevan versus Ryan Benink. Look at Stevan right behind Fireblaze as we now head onto the main straight we go. DRS, of course, not activated, obviously. But Stevan there pulls out of Fireblaze, and we'll see who is going to be late on the brakes in towards turn 12. They go side by side. They're both on the brakes there. But who can get to better exit, better traction out of turn 12? Fireblaze trying to hold his own on the inside there, but Stevan goes around the outside in turn 13. Now converted towards turn 14. There's Ryan Benink looking to pounce on one of them at least. And Stevan takes the lead of the US Grand Prix for the first time in this race, but Fireblaze will have overtake mode at the end of this lap. And Ryan Benink there in P3 looking to try and spoil the party for one of them. Fireblaze has to keep Ryan Benink at bay or overtake Stevan. And Sasha has caught up too for good measure. Here we go towards the final corner, the penultimate lap of this race. I have no idea who's going to win, but Fireblaze is in the slipstream, has the battery, and he goes on the outside towards turn 1. Can he do it? Does he have the grip? He doesn't do it. And stays in P2, but he's on a massive threat from Ryan Benink. Ryan Benink will not give up despite having a penalty in this race. And he goes side by side with Fireblaze, and there's contact. Fireblaze in the spin. No! Oh my goodness, Fireblaze is in a spin. His chances of winning the race or getting a podium has completely been diminished. So I think an Audi will win, but which one will it be? Stevan and Sasha? I can't believe what I've seen. And down the inside goes Sasha on the inside towards 11. Pushes Fireblaze, Ryan Benink off the track. I have no idea who could be at fault there. It was aggressive racing. Ryan Benink not giving up. You know what? I don't like it when I see. I don't know how to. I don't know what to think about that. But anyways, I think if you have a 3-second penalty, you shouldn't be fighting that hard. You know, unless of course people around you got penalties. But yeah, it kind of spoils the race a little bit. To be honest with you, I'm a bit disappointed by that. In all honesty, but you know that's racing. Yeah, I'm very, very disappointed about that, to be honest, in turn 2. I was hoping to see Fireblaze on the podium, at least he deserves it, and I wanted to speak to him towards the end, but yeah, that's completely been thrown away. The last lap of this Grand Prix, Esteban leads ahead of Ryan, Sasha in P3. But of course, an Audi would definitely win this Grand Prix now for sure. Neither driver have penalties. And Ryan, how aggressive will he be on Esteban? Why is not aggressive on Esteban like he was on Fireblaze? Why not go after him like he did? I think all the action will happen down towards turn 12 between Ryan and Esteban. Here he is, Ryan right behind Esteban, but Esteban won't care about Ryan. He cares about his teammate, and he stays behind him at this stage in the race. Squirms out of turn 11. All the action will happen towards turn 12. Esteban in the lead, but for how much longer? Because there's two people behind him, ready to pounce and attack for the lead of the US Grand Prix. He's under massive pressure. Here comes Ryan. His main focus is on his teammate as he goes down the inside. But Esteban does the under and over. But watch out, because his teammate is the most important part. As we see, Ryan Benink maintain first place, but Esteban has to watch out. Will Sasha go down the inside? Yes, no! And Esteban blocks the inside line there, prevents Sasha to overtake. But is there any more chances? Look at the battery. Sasha has got his teammate. Will he use it? He's got to use it all the way down. But I think Esteban has this covered, unless he makes a mistake somewhere. He should have this covered, unless Sasha could get a good exit out of here. Here comes Ryan Benink towards the final few corners of this racetrack. He wins, but Esteban will win the US Grand Prix. It's an Audi 1-2. Sasha finishes in P2. Ryan Benink on the podium ahead of Ralph in 4th place. Khatikas 5th ahead of Glowstick. Fireblaze goes up into P5. But wow, what a drawn-in race this has been to the US Grand Prix. Dramatic fashion. And it's definitely been chaotic and eventful for sure. Yeah, what a shame for Fireblaze. I do feel sorry for him. He knew he had to keep Ryan at bay, but Ryan just kept forcing him, and contact was eventually made between those two. He couldn't give up track position, but Ryan Benning was on the attack, and I don't think that Fireblaze will be appreciated what happened there. Sorry, Ralph. I only interviewed the top 3. My bad, mate. You know what? I can't give you an interview because you're on PC anyway. Sad Charles fan says, yes, first points in my F1 debut. I have top 3 in my heart, says Ralph. Yeah, you were so close. Marciano says, would have been P5 like, would have been like P5 for F's sake, he says. He's not convinced on his results. If Sasha don't join the podium interviews, I will just call this off because I want to go. So yeah, what was the Ferrari doing? Was that, it couldn't have been Tim Boy, surely, who did that. You know, that was ludicrous towards the end of the race. The Ferrari taking out some people too. I'm quite sure what the Ferrari was doing there. But Sasha, if you're not going to join the podium interviews, then I'm not particularly fussed. But anyways, it's the end. It's the end of the US Grand Prix. I'll see you all later. Goodbye for now. I'll see you all in the next race.